All right. It is time for the Always Into Something podcast. I am MMB, and of course, I am here in beautiful Henderson, Nevada, in the Leo Pope Studios, where I always do my thing, and we're gonna do a roll call. So I got my partners in crime here, and who we gonna start with?
Yo, so my guy from Inglewood, California, coming in live at the guy studio, Furious High Rise. And where you at, boy?
Yeah. What up, though? El Park's here, live and direct from the apartment in the garage of the house. They're doing what I do.
Hey,
All right. And I know we got one more up in here.
El Shizzle. You know what I'm saying? That fallen disciple. You know what I'm saying? That ill samurai trying to get back to the disciple.
There you go. That's what's up.
Slicing and dicing.
That's what's up. And of course, this is
Buckle up the kneecaps.
brought to you the 72 Entertainment Group Podcast Network. We appreciate you guys listening and hanging in with us, and hopefully you enjoyed the last few episodes, and hopefully you enjoyed this one as we get to it. It's been, everything's been a little difficult, but it seems to be getting a little bit better, a little bit easing going on. I was just able to sit at a bar yesterday, enjoy a cigar, and have a beer in a public place. So that was cool. I was happy about that. I was excited, and I'm thinking it's going to be better. I'm hoping it's going to be better, but you never know. It's still a little early, but I'm hope for the best.
What up, though? Man, it's our governor just extended the lockdown until June 12th, so we are currently still kind of having to stay in and not be able to do too much. The other day, I left out the house and left my mask in my wife's SUV, so I had to pull my sweatshirt up over my face, so I was looking real weak out there trying to do what I could with what little I had. Other than that, man, it's just everything is low key. Let's get out the way.
No shame. What about you?
Man, you know what I'm saying? Trying not to take things for granted, man. That's it. That's all I can do. And try to stay shame.
That's what's up. So, one of the things, I've had to deal with this. I don't know if everybody is dealing with this, with the mask and having to wear it. I know we touched on a little bit last week, and I'm still kind of on the fence about it, like having to wear it everywhere and be required and all that good stuff. But I don't know. I feel like more should have been done before we start talking about reopening things, because it really, where are we at? Where are we at different? And I know I might sound like a broken record, but it's true. I don't know what's going on, and I'm kind of frustrated about the whole situation. I do believe there's a pandemic and all that stuff going on. I'm not, taking that for granted or anything like that, or trying to make light of that situation. But it's just tough when you're dealing with these, day-to-day things, and in your world, nothing has changed, but it's so much has changed at the same time. It's just it is a little frustrating. I think it's finally got to me, and I'm pretty much back to normal. Working and doing my thing. Is nothing really, no really restrictions on what I do. So, but I still feel some kind of way about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in my feelings. I don't know. But that's just me. And if people feel like that, it's cool. We're not about to have another feeling session. We already held hands and sang Kumbaya last week. We're not doing that this time.
You held hands. You held hands.
Have mercy.
When did that happen? Must have missed out. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, no, you were there. Oh, you were there. You led. Sounded like old Eddie Kane. All right.
Eddie Kane.
But no, man, I wanted to, I know we have wanted to jump into some stuff here. And so look, I had a question. I had a question for you, for you guys. I know we talked about, and this is off topic. I'm just freestyling now. Had a quick question. What do you think of? So The Last Dance is over. That's done. I'm pretty much. To me, it kind of ended with a fizzle. Did you guys feel like it didn't end strong?
I didn't think it ended strong either.
Right? Like it was something
because it was just like, I mean, and I understand everybody was saying it wasn't really like about the Bulls. It was more like the Michael Jordan show, and I get that, but no one was gonna sit through 3 weeks of Horace Grant or Bill Wennington, right? So, I get that. So I do feel like it didn't end great, and it didn't end on a high note, because there's always that what if factor. Obviously, if they would have stayed together, could have possibly won 7. I mean, like, that stuff is like neither here or there at this point, The bad thing about it was all these grown men making all these money with this broken relationship, and it was just egos and bad communication that pretty much tore the Bulls organization apart, which is unfortunate, very unfortunate.
I mean,
and we didn't really get a lot of closure from the people around the league. Now, they did talk to a lot of people, and I feel like we should have got more than just Jordan's take on how it ended. Because when we talked about how it ended and could it possibly have went on further, the only person's opinion that we got is Michael Jordan. I would have liked to see what other people thought about that. I would have liked to see more coverage on the Houston Rockets. Now, I did see that people were saying that they didn't cover the Houston Rockets enough, and they were saying ESPN said the only people that declined to interview was players of the Utah Jazz, like Karl Malone, but they did have John Stockton on there for a second, but they said Karl Malone declined to interview.
Yeah, which I was shocked by that because I mean Karl Malone, he didn't say anything bad about him. I mean, I know Karl Malone won the MVP, but we talked about it last time too. Maybe he just don't care. He want to be just doing his 18-wheeler, chilling, doing the mailman.
Karl Malone's a lifetime asshole, bro.
I hear what you're saying, and you want more closure. But this is a movie we saw before for those of us who are old enough. And the only person's opinion about moving forward that really mattered was Jordan, just based on the fact that he was going to be the one that led them to the pinnacle. When he left before, we found out what happened. Eastern Conference, y'all couldn't get to the finals. So regardless as to whether Scottie would have came back or Rodman would have came back, none of that matters if Jordan doesn't come back. And so, yeah, it's nice to, see the sides. It's almost like one of those styrofoam holiday plates. But unless the meat is on there, it's good for some string beans and some potato salad and a little mac and cheese. But where's the meat? And Jordan was the meat. He was the feature of it. So that's really the only opinion that matters.
And I get that. And it was called The Last Dance. and it was for a reason, because that was the season. The season was the last dance, because they already said that Phil was going to be done. I just, I was so engrossed in it, and I was so excited, and Parks is right. Jordan is the meat, and that's what it was. And you rarely got to see that side of Jordan. He rarely did interviews. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was good to see his perspective and how he just was his. I mean, and they left a lot of stuff out, and I'm not going to critique the producers or the director or anything like that. I think he did a great job. It was still engrossing, and I really enjoyed it. I just wanted, because I was wondering, how is it going to end? We know the story, and they did come across with some really good side perspectives from like ancillary characters like Steve Kerr and that story about his dad and things like that. And I didn't even know about that, and I thought that was really cool.
Right.
And Scottie Pippen's, towards the beginning, what his motivation was, and they really picked on him about. I don't want to say they picked on him, but they isolated that one incident when he refused to go back in the game, and people make decisions that they regret or they don't regret. At the time, he said he would probably do it again if he would go back. So he didn't regret it. He felt disrespected, and I understand that. He's now the star of the team, and you drawing up a play for Kukoc, but it is a team sport. You, Scottie Pippen, facilitate. Facilitator is just as good as the executor. You know what I mean? If I've said that right, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. If he can get the ball to the right person and that shot is made, he's a hero, and he's going to get the credit anyway because it's his team. No Jordan. So I think that was bad on his part, but I understand it. He just kind of had one of those, diva moments, and everybody has it when they're at the
diva moment, though, as a man. If you've been passed over for a position or a job when you were more qualified than people who were going against you, and it has happened to me. And then you'll have someone say, well, could you help with this? I'm reluctant because you chose the person that you wanted to do it. They get the job done or they don't. What do you need me for? What do you need my insight? Why are you asking me to give you something for free that you're paying someone else to do, and you won't give me the opportunity to do it even though I can't? So I get where Pippen's coming from because, yeah, Kukoc had made some shots before, but on the other hand, it seemed like, that was the Bulls' buddy. You got, they looking for him over there in what was it, Croatia, and then he's there, and him and Phil have a good relationship as well. I know for me, when I get passed over, I'm like, let me know how it goes for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, and that makes sense, and I get it. I really do, and but as the leader of the team, don't you have an obligation to your teammates? And then you discuss that in the locker room. You go out there and execute, and you perform, and then you discuss how you felt in the locker room.
But he's saying anybody can. Oh man, why I gotta? He's not even a decoy. It's not like he's out there, and okay, I'm on the court, not throwing the ball in, and so I could be someone where they're looking at me like Scotty's gonna get it, and then you throw it, to Kukoc. Instead, he's throwing the ball in from out of bounds. So you're allowing the defense to not even really look at him. So the play was messed up from the giddy up. Although he's a great passer and facilitator, somebody else can throw the ball in.
Yeah, but if you're the facilitator and you're the leader of the team, you should be out there in crunch time, no matter what. I mean, that's just me. I don't take myself out of the game, because I didn't like the play. Like, oh, I mean, I play football and I played on the line, and oh well, we need to run this play. Is it going to be going to the opposite side? It's not going to be going to your side. Well, you know what? I'm not blocking. I'm not going in. I'm not going to run that play. I couldn't do that.
I'm not saying it's right, but I understand. I've been there before when I know that I was that guy, and other folks have been chosen. And okay, I ain't mad at you, but don't expect me to be like, yeah, let me donate to the cause. No, sound like y'all got it figured out. You don't need me. And if you know what all I've done, then use it. You know what I would do in the situation. Do it then.
Yeah, I mean, we talking about stuff that's, 20 years, whatever. I mean, it's just so we're so sports starved because, we don't know what the NBA is doing. They're talking about doing stuff in the ESPN complex at Disney World, and we're just so starved for sports. We want it. And now we're talking about, Horace Grant going at Michael Jordan. Nobody care about y'all old asses doing stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fighting and going back and forth. Okay, look, call a man up and say what's up. Let's handle this. Let's talk it out. Nobody needs to be fighting. Come on, man. Y'all 60 years old. What y'all gonna be doing? You know what I mean? Just relax. Now, okay. And that's gonna lead to our next topic. You see how I did that segue? The old man fighting?
Man, yeah. I really appreciate that.
So everybody, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen it. If you haven't, it's on YouTube. You've seen Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, damn it. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson in the gym, working, hitting the bag, sparring, doing his thing, and him proclaiming to the camera that he's back. Back to do what?
Looking like he could fuck somebody up in one round, because if it go any further than that, he might not make it.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna read a part of an article for it's a CNN article. I'm gonna read a little bit of it. So what he was doing, and what they said in the article is that he's been training, and Mike is quoted saying, "Anything is possible. I feel unstoppable now. The God of War have reawakened me, ignited my ego, and want me to go to war again. I feel like I'm young again, and." This is what Michael said. He feels like he's young again and he wants to get into the ring. Now, he wants to climb into the ring for charity. That's the caveat. Now,
That's her name, Charity?
No. So the former world champion is training again and plans to climb back into the ring to raise money for charities. I've been working out. I've been trying to get in the ring. I think I'm going to box some exhibitions and get in shape. I want to go to the gym, get in shape, and be able to box 3 or 4 round exhibitions for some charities and stuff. Now, okay. Now, we all seen, boxers come back and fight when they should not have been fighting. Mike Tyson pretty much had escaped the punch drunk older boxer lifestyle that many of his predecessors had to deal with. He's not dealing with, from what I can tell, from what I've seen, any of those, like the slurred speech, delayed cognitive movements and things like that. He's still with it. I saw his show a couple years ago. He's still doing his thing. Why would you want to get back into the ring and do damage to yourself? Even for charities. I mean, what is the point? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
I feel like there's going to be damage done to him. He's feeling like the God of War is bringing him back out. And like Amal was saying, he's good for 1 or 2 rounds. This is going to be Mike Tyson's punch out. 3-4 rounds, heavy water for him. If he's not knocking you out, you might as well call it a draw or a win if he don't knock you down 3-4 rounds. I mean, I'm not trying to fight all night with Mike Tyson. I don't want to go 12, and nobody else really does. And I know he doesn't want to go 12 because it looks like he's going to lose. At 5 rounds, it's over. But he can get you out of there in 3 to 4 easy.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what you think about it, Amon?
Now, I think that Mike Tyson is trying to fill a void. I think that if you've been watching this podcast, if you've been listening to him, he's in an emotionally dark place right now, and I think that he has lost a lot of himself because he can't find his niche after boxing, and so he's like, he's like a tumbleweed right now. So I think this is an attempt for him to like find his purpose and to just get that feeling back that he hasn't had in a long time. Now, everybody thought that Mike Tyson would be somehow involved in boxing after he retired, like a lot of greats are in their sport. But he said that he didn't have any desire to do that. Now, what I do think is that he opened up an avenue. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Big Three with the league Ice Cube started for the retired NBA players, but I think that Mike Tyson might have opened up that avenue maybe for boxers. Maybe it could be a different type of league for older boxers, and of course they can alter the rules. Of course it'll be lower rounds. Of course it'll be some headgear involved, but maybe he can find his niche there. I really feel bad for Mike. I grew up watching Mike, one of my favorite boxers of all time. I really respected the guy. I really, I knew his story. I knew he was crazy. I knew he was wild. But I always had this spot for Mike. You know what I mean? Like, I just always you know what I'm saying? Like, I idolized Mike coming up. He was like one of my favorite boxers. So I hate to see him like emotionally damaged right now. I mean, everybody knows his story. He lost his daughter a few years ago. She passed away. She had a treadmill accident. She was home alone with the maid. And and plus all his legal battles and his issues with drugs and things of that sort. And just, money become with Don King. So he's been through some emotional things, and when you do something so long, and that's all you know, and it's time to walk away, it is hard to have that backup plan if you haven't pre-prepared for it. And I don't think Mike Tyson did that. So I think this is his attempt to fill a void, and I just hope he don't, hurt himself and do more damage than good, trying to get to that place that he's looking for. I just feel like he's looking for something. And I don't know if he's going to find it or not, but hopefully he doesn't sacrifice himself in the meantime.
And then, they were talking about, my concern is, okay, you want to do this for charity, you want to go out there and do little exhibition things, that's great. And that's fine. And more power to you. But my thought is that I already saw articles where Shannon Briggs, once, heavyweight contender, I don't know if he won a championship or not, but he wants to fight Mike Tyson. And then they were talking about Evander Holyfield, and I'm wondering, like, what would anybody gain from that? You know what I mean? Like, because is that going to be exhibition?
This dollar bills and glory, man. That's another payday. You figure, look at Mike. He finally found his lane with a podcast and growing weed. He smokes as much as he wants to smoke. He might have been high when he decided to come back. You never know.
Right.
This place when he was prominent. He was the baddest man on the planet. And you miss, it's like guys who played football in high school. You reminisce about days of yesterday. And he also was like, look, a lot of these months that they can beat me, get in here for 4 rounds with me and see what happens. And he was opening up that door. You put him in there with Tyson Fury for 4 rounds. 12, you're going to beat. But put him in there with, one of them guys and see what happens.
Now,
no problem.
Okay, so do you think that that's going to happen? Okay, we've all seen the Rocky movies, or any kind of boxing movie where the champion is doing a press conference, and then here comes the young up and comer wanting to start beef, wanting to talk shit. Oh, you ain't nothing. And you think that something like that would happen, like Tyson Fury would come in there and do his press conference. Oh, I want to fight you, and blah 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 blah.
They do. It's a payday. They all want the money. That's why everybody wants to fight Mayweather. Tyson is still, if he comes back, a cash cow. Vegas is opening up wide open. The world, the country, everybody's going to.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's but you see these people past their primes, they try to come back and do things like we because they're stars, and there's not a lot of stars in the sport right now. I don't know what's going on with all that noise. There's not a lot of stars in the sport right now, so. That's, and you see that when you have to deal with, people looking at, like we were just talking about it, Michael Jordan, his dominance, his era. There's not a lot of course you have LeBron and stuff like that, but it's different. It wasn't as captivating.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just taking it to a wrestling standpoint, you had, not too long ago, you had a 54-year-old fighting a 55-year-old, wrestling a 55-year-old in Dubai. Want to know why? Because of the money. I'm sorry, not in Dubai. It was Saudi Arabia. They were fighting in Saudi Arabia. And they damn near almost killed each other because they messed up, couldn't do what they did in their prime and when they were younger, and they were feeding off this star power. But when you see the end results, when you almost give somebody a concussion and you are embarrassed, it's not a good look, and you start to chip away at your legacy. When you do that every time you step back into the ring or you step back on the court, you step back on the field or whatever, you diminish your legacy. You know what I mean? And sometimes and I get it, the adulation that you get and you receive when you're on top, I'm pretty sure it's nothing can compare to that. And all of that money and the wealth and the attention that you get. I'm sure it's great, okay, and it can be addicting, but when is it that you look at yourself in the mirror? And I know technology has come a long way, and I know that modern science and health and things like that have come a long way, where people can, are living longer and they're staying more active longer and things like that, and physically fit, and being in peak physical condition. But you still can't do what you did when you were 25, 30, when you're 50. I mean, you have to know that, and you have to understand that. So this whole thing about, Evander Holyfield, if he starts fighting again, I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to see that, because Evander Holyfield can still, to me, he is punch drunk, and I know he has money issues, but it's other ways that he can get it. He
can barely talk, man.
Exactly.
He's already like slurring his words and
yep.
And Mike Tyson, he got so much. Mike Tyson kind of like emotionally is almost like Dennis Rodman emotionally. Like you get them guys talking a lot, and 9 times out of 10, a tear start pouring. Especially Mike Tyson getting high all the time, and he's doing mushrooms. On top of the weed. He's emotionally unstable. One hit, I don't want to see him turn into a Muhammad Ali like Richard Pryor. I don't want to see him go out like that. And for what? For some money, the money ain't worth it. Like you have your name alone will get you money. You could just interview. You could like do guest appearances. Like your name alone will always be able to feed your family if you living within your means. Now you can't be out here buying tigers and shit. Them days are over. You know what I'm saying. You're not like you're not the Tiger King or nothing. You got to chill out. But if you living within your means and you just use your name, Evander Holyfield too. Like those guys can like still make a living. I don't know what kind of life that they're trying to live, but they just got to use what they got.
And I think that again, it's a different type. Like Mike Tyson had a career resurgence and a renaissance because he was on The Hangover. He had the cartoon.
Right.
He was doing the podcast and
the video game,
and he had the video game, and he had the one man show, which was very entertaining. And it was, I mean, he made the transition from being known as a boxer to being an entertainer.
Right.
And you can go do a movie. You could make a couple $1 million doing a movie. Go do a cameo. You know what I mean? Be at boxing events, but just be a what do they call it? A statesman or no, not a commentator, but just one of those, like an ambassador for the sport. That goes out and talks to people about things like that. Share your knowledge. Talk about that. Go to camps and people will hire you to come. Oh,
he could be a trainer. He could even be a trainer.
Or get a facility or something that he could train boxers, things like that. But that's not for everybody, and I get that. Not everybody that wants to that played wants to coach.
Mike will be like, forget it, I'll fight him. You ain't doing it, I'll fight him. And that's the biggest thing with former athletes. George looks like if he wasn't off doing cigars, crying, drinking his expensive tequila, and could get in shape without the knee issues and all of that, he could get back out there and show LeBron and them what to do. Mike is in a position where he can get back into some sort of physical shape and hit somebody. He ain't got to jump and dunk or hit a game-winning three-pointer. All he got to do is connect the right hand to the right jaw and lay somebody down. And he feels like, I can do it, so why not? It's not like it's another sport like football or something where you got a whole bunch of other factors that play into it. It's one-on-one. It's not 1-on-5, or hopefully my teammates can do it. It's me in this ring knocking somebody down. And fortunately enough for him, he can probably still do it with most folks. It's not like they're going to put him up in there with Deontay Wilder, but on the other hand, what if they do? And, if he loses, okay, I'm 53. But if he wins, I can still knock these young boys out. And there's one thing, as you get older, you respect old man strength. My dad is 70.
Hell yeah, you do.
I am not going to try that, man. He might die of a heart attack right after he killed me.
Yeah, no, and that was one thing I was about to say, that old man strength, because we saw it with Michael Moore and George Foreman. George Foreman came with that cross, pop, Moore was down, done deal.
Night.
It was over. Big George, he was laboring, but he hit that one shot. He saw it, bow, done. And you're right, but that was that was an actual competitive fight. We talk about exhibitions, and then, but if we are talking about him getting back into the ring, being competitive, where they're fighting, for actual titles and stuff, it is a real possibility that he can go out there and embarrass his opponent or be embarrassed. And what is how much is that worth to you? And doing things for your family. And there's other avenues once you get beyond that, and I get it, but it seems like he's going back. And I think when you start to go back into your former habits and things like that, it is a sign that you're not looking forward. You're going backwards, and nothing good comes from moving backwards, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I know what he's saying, and he's doing it for a good cause, and there's nothing wrong with getting in shape, and there's nothing wrong with boxing and getting in shape how you want to get in shape and how you know how to get in shape. You want to hit the bag, you want to do that, that's great. You want to go fight Meatloaf or Danny Bonaducci for 3 rounds. That's fine, whatever. You know, yeah, I don't know, fucking J.J. Walker, I don't know, whatever. Whoever wants to get in there and fight and fight Mike Tyson for charity. You know, Emmanuel Lewis, that'd be great. That would be an awesome. Yeah.
That guy ain't even living no more, bro.
Emmanuel Lewis is living.
He is?
Yeah.
And he got a black belt. I don't know if Mike want to deal with Emmanuel Lewis on that because all kneecaps, thighs, broad area, gone.
Maybe working that body like I mean, it'll be no headshots, but it pause. But anyway.
Wow.
You just but Gary Coleman is no longer with us. But Emmanuel Lewis is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's he's.
I mean, he could do like they did on Martin, where he fought Tommy Hearn.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you see how Martin wound up looking.
Some fool gonna want to test his skill, and I'm all for somebody testing their skill.
I agree. I mean, it would be fun, but that's just. But then I'm an advocate, and I am participating. I am complicit in this this older man getting into a ring where he has past glory, but do I want to see him? Well, I mean, what would I be going to see? What would you be going to see? Would you be going to see Mike Tyson go out there and be Mike Tyson from 30 years ago? Or what is it what will be the draw? I know there's money out there, of course, but what will be the draw? Is it the old Mike Tyson, or is it what can he do now?
Yeah, it's to see if he still got it. That's basically what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
He gives chance to relive our
Okay,
family years as well. Okay, if you can do something, maybe I can do something.
Yeah, and I think it's good. It would be it'll be interesting to see. Let's just put it that way. I'll leave it at that. I'm not for and I'm not really against it because I can't really tell another man. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Whatever. I'm not in his shoes, and I'm not in that gym with him. So be telling him what he should, what he can and can't do. I don't know. But I do hope that he has the best of intentions and he's just doing it for the charities and he doesn't hurt himself and get seriously injured and just because he wanted to scratch an itch. I don't think it's worth it. Before I end the show, we did have I did want to touch on a little bit. There's a former wrestler named Shad Gaspard passed away this week. According to the reports, he was in Venice swimming.
Oh wow, with his son, right?
He was swimming with his son, yeah. And he, from eyewitness accounts, he was able to save his son. He was able to get him to safety, but a tide took him, and they found his body, I think, 3 days later.
Wow.
Just wanted to, give my thoughts and prayers out to his family.
Wow.
From all accounts, he was a really, really good dude. He was working in the movies after his WWE career had ended. He's still a relatively young man. Actually, the same age as me. He's 39 years old. So, but that's a tough pill to swallow for that family, and just wishing the best for them and yeah. So I hate to end it on a somber note, but I felt that needed to be said. Because Big Shad was from all, like I said, all accounts, he was a good dude, and he was doing things right for his family, and he was able to save his son, and he made the ultimate sacrifice. which is just nobody wants to be in that position, but he did what he had to do as a man, and much respect to Big Shad, and rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
As a father, man, if I had to give up mine for my son, hey, count me gone without hesitation. It is something that when you have a child, you would put your life on the line for that kid. And the funniest thing, honestly, going through a divorce, my dad was like, if something happened to, your son, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, no, Dad, I got this. And he's like, no, I'm 7. Something happened to me, I'll go to jail. Take care of your mama. I got it. So even, man, my father loves my son enough that he would do time or die for him because that's his offspring. And he's pushing me to the side as his father, saying, no, I don't do it. When I'm like, Pop, I got it. And so when you have that connection with your child, there's nothing that you would do. You see them stories back in the day when a woman and lifted up a car to get their child out from underneath it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean those stories. Yeah. I mean I don't have any children, right now, and I can only imagine how that will, how that would be. But I agree. Once you bring something in, a person into this earth, you do anything for them, and including making that ultimate sacrifice. And you have to do that. So, but anyway, I really think that we had some good information. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. I'll see what we could do on the post end to see if I can clean it up a little bit. But I think that we kind of, like I said, we're figuring it out. This is only our 7th show. So bear with us, stay with us. The Always Into Something crew is going to be here for you and do what we do. If you are listening, wherever you're listening to us, if it's on the 72 Entertainment Group YouTube, comment, or anywhere on the podcast, just comment, put a like, share it, let people know that you got real dudes out here just sharing real opinions and talking some real stuff. And yeah. So you guys have anything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, just appreciate y'all listening. We love to get some feedback. Eventually we're gonna get these kinks worked out, do a little bit of troubleshooting. We're gonna come back better and better and better every single time. So appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us, bear with us, and things will get better.
What about you? You got something, Parks?
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll figure it out like we always do about this time. And to all those who are listening, I want to raise your hand in congratulatory fashion for being a winner. And then we're kicking in the stomach and doing a Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh man. Beautiful. So yeah, for the 72 Entertainment Group podcast network, I am MMB. We are the Always Into Something podcast, and Oxman stand up, and the marathon continues.
Yes, sir.
And we are out.
Outro.